Almost ready. All right, and we're live. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Trevor Young, and I'd like to welcome y'all back to the Real Talk with Real Estate Investors show. I got my man, Dan Caldwell, here with me as well. And boy, do we have a great guest in store for you guys today. This next guest needs no introduction, but he is one of the top real estate agents, brokers in the world, guys. And you probably know him from his hit TV show, $1 Million Listing New York. Ryan, I'd like to welcome you to the show, brother. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? How's Dallas, Texas?
Dallas is rocking, man. I tell you what, we had some nice sunny weather up until today, and today it's cats and dogs. But that's how it goes. You know how Texas weather goes.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I was born in Houston in 1984 in Kingswood, and I went back there once. A couple years ago, but other than that, most of my family's now in kind of the Fort Worth, kind of Keller, Texas area.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at, actually. So I'm right here in Dallas, of course. That's right down the street from me, man. And so, we're booming. Real estate's booming here, man. How's things there in New York?
Terrible.
Oh man, everything's shut down or what?
It's not shut down. I mean, it's but New Yorkers are the greediest and cheapest people in the world at the same exact time. If it's their bagel, they want $100 for it. But if they're buying a bagel, they don't want to pay more than $1. So it's like, it's tough here. But I think, the residential market, because we do I'm a broker in New York City. We kind of sell from all over,
Sure.
But we have a big members group. So we have a large education platform. We have a big sales course where we teach people how to sell real estate on the brokerage side and kind of how to sell anything and how to build sales careers through our Serhant course. And so we've got 5,000 members now. We've been doing it for about a year, and they're all over. And I think a lot of them might retire, like especially the ones that are in the United States. They've just been crushing it. Like their volume is double, triple from what they were doing a year ago. And in New York, for me, I think we're probably half of what we did last year. Because in March, 600,000 people left. And I think it's actually more than that, but they will eventually come back. So it's just about remaining optimistic and pivoting, right? You pivot, you try to find other places to go. You do different types of things. You're always moving, always moving.
That's right. And I thought that it was very interesting that you meant to pivot. You're one of the original guys to recognize social media as being a huge opportunity to really advance your career, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I noticed, I think it was 7 years ago when I first got on Instagram, it's like, wow, this is if people are going to see what I'm eating every day, if I post a photo about food, then they'll see what I'm selling every day if I post homes. And then when Facebook bought Instagram, it was like the lid blew off, because through the Facebook ads manager, if you know how to do it correctly, you can double, triple, quadruple your lead flow running the appropriate types of social ads, both with lead gen ads, using the lead form template that they have. And because it's real estate, you got to be careful with fair housing, but you can target interest groups. So You're not going to go after demographics like Nike might be able to, but you can go after interest groups. Like if you're selling houses on a lake, you can go after interest groups in a certain area that of people who like fishing, right? Mm-hmm. People who like boating, people who like swimming. So all of those interest groups, and that's how you create a market. And so we've been selling through social for a long time. We've sold $15 million townhouses in New York City through social that way. And so tomorrow, actually, I don't know if this is live or not, but tomorrow, Wednesday, we're putting out another course that is all about how to sell on social ads the right way without being ripped off, without all the bullshit, and just how to triple your lead volume. It's really changed the game for us.
I dig it totally, man. And for the folks that are listening, and by the way, we've got about 300,000 members across social media as well that are listening in, that are tuned in, real estate agents, investors, and so forth. And, I'm glad that they're getting a chance to hear this because, I think a lot of folks are still missing the boat as far as you know, how everything's kind of moving digital, and they really need to capture that, you know, or be left behind, right?
Yep. Yeah, no, listen, for sure. I remember when I got into the business, you know, my first day was the day the financial crisis started in September of 2008. That was the first day that I started selling real estate in New York City, when New York City was on fire. I remember my first building I was selling when the World Trade Center was still a construction site. It was still, you know, rubble. And I would tell people with every floor of the Freedom Tower as it's coming up, your apartment's going to be worth more money, you know, and all the pitches and things I'd have. But I would meet people because, like I said, I was born in Texas. You know, I'm not from New York City. My first outfit in New York, my nice clothes were cowboy boots, snakeskin, obviously, khaki pants, cowboy boot, and a collared shirt tucked in. And that was like, you know, I'm fancy like that. Maybe I'd have like a sport coat. It's just because I was just so green. But I would meet people at open houses. I'd meet them at coffee shops, or you'd run ads in the New York Times, or you'd run ads on Craigslist.com. And you can, Craigslist.com, you don't use anymore. No one runs ads in newspapers anymore. And it is illegal to have open houses in New York City right now. So it's like, how do you meet people these days? If everyone's got masks on, no one wants to touch, everyone's scared. Like, how do you generate leads and generate new business post-COVID as a salesperson? How do you network? And you do it socially, you do it through social ads. I'm telling you, like, I feel like a lot of agents out there and a lot of real estate investors have tried dabbling in social ads, but they've done it really lazily. Like, they've just hit the boost button as if they think that's a real thing. The boost button is like playing the slots. The boost button is the slot machine at the casino. All you're doing is you're making Mark Zuckerberg money. That's it. That is literally it. You might get lucky that one of your followers sees your post and then reaches out to you, but the chances of that happening are so slim. What you want to be able to do is grow your reach, right? You want to grow reach on social. You don't want to just keep telling your mom and her friends about that house you got. That doesn't mean anything. You want to grow that reach, but it's complicated, and the Facebook algorithm is really, really difficult to understand. But once it's laid out for you and you run the appropriate types of ads, you can turn Facebook and Instagram into your number one lead source, both organically and earned, right? So there's paid and earned. And it can be huge. But yeah, you've got to understand it. If you're not selling that way, if you're not generating leads for your listings and for your business and the buy side that way in 2020, like, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, you might think you're crushing it, but you're not.
Right. For sure, man. For sure. And I'll tell you, I read a story online too about how when you first got to New York City, you were going around town, I guess, handing out flyers, right? You know, so a lot has changed for sure. And so I appreciate you know, sharing that. You know, I think that's just awesome. You know, the way that you've been able to progress.
Yeah, no, I don't hand out flyers anymore. That is for sure.
I bet.
That is for sure.
No doubt. So tell us a little bit about how you've been pivoting there in New York. Obviously, you've got a huge team of agents that work there with you. COVID hit earlier this year. It did cause some things to pivot. How are you guys, you know, currently conducting, you know, appointments, interviews, you know, showings, things like that?
I mean, listen, we are doing things in person again. Like, I'm in the car right now, stuck in this New York. That's a truck. You know, I'm stuck in New York City traffic right now. I'm in my car, got my driver Michael here, you know, trying to get around all this stuff. I'm on Canal Street. So we're still doing things in person, wearing masks and the whole 9 yards. But a lot of stuff, you want to go right here. I don't know where you want to go right there. Hold on. Eventually, you want to get in the right lane. We don't want to be this way. You know how we do in the mornings? Yeah. Sorry. So, you know, we haven't really had to pivot that much. Like, we are, you know, we do a lot through video. Like, my brokerage company that I have, and I started a brand new company in September. We have an in-house film studio. So we sell a lot through video. And so, you know, we were fortunate enough when COVID hit and we got shut down in March, you know, we were able to, at that time, just take all our listing videos that we had and then just sell through those. Right? We were doing FaceTime tours, Zoom tours, virtual tours, while everyone else was having to adapt and figure it out, and they were scrambling. we were good to go. Like we had no downtime. And so that we've really just stepped that up more and more and more and more and more. But we were already investing into the power of video. I think if you're not doing video and you're in the real estate business, like, again, I don't know what you're doing. Like, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting to be punched in the face by a video camera? Like, I don't get it.
For real.
Hey, Ryan, where do you see that going? Where's the future for agents out there? I mean, obviously video is going to play the biggest part. But do you see these virtual tours? What do you see being the next thing for these agents to latch onto?
Yeah, I think interactive video, which you'll start to see on social, right? The ability to run video on like Instagram and to have it be linked. So links in videos that people can quickly click and share, I think is going to be big and important because, you want to make it as quick as possible for people to make decisions. And if there's too many steps, like if people have to watch something and then do a follow-up, like it's too much for people to think about. But if they can see something, click in the moment and have that video be interactive, that's a big step. I also think what people are going to start doing is really diversifying their income. Like there's no reason that salespeople, agents, etc., you shouldn't also be selling the furniture and making a commission on it. You shouldn't also be selling the cars in a garage and making a commission on it. You shouldn't also be selling the landscaping services and, the home goods and making a commission on it. The best salespeople are the ones who can take a little piece off of everything that they touch. And if you're selling the home, you might as well sell everything the home comes with. And that, it's always seemed more complicated, but as the technology kind of adapts to make it easier and easier, I think that will be kind of like this full package. And I feel like post-COVID, people really do want that full package. I don't know how you guys are seeing it in Texas, but for me in New York, I've never had more interest in fully furnished homes than ever before. Right. I mean, it's what everybody now wants because they don't want to have to deal with finding furniture. They don't want to have to deal with movers. They don't want to deal with anything. They'd rather just come in, disinfect, go.
Everything's moving to a convenient factor, no doubt. I can totally see real estate moving that direction. Obviously, it's already starting to do that. It's getting big with cars. Of course, you go online, fill out a couple things. They drive your car to you and give you the keys, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the housing market ends up going too.
Yep, for sure.
Well, back to what Dan was saying as far as the future of agents for the folks that are new and are just getting into this, or real estate, I should say, what is the biggest move that they can make today to excel their career?
The biggest move that a real estate agent could today. I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, like you have to remember, a salesperson is fishing. Like that's what we are. Right? That's how I kind of view myself, right? I'm a fisherman and I'm going into the ocean every day with my boat and I got my fishing pole and I've got bait. Most salespeople bring the wrong pole with the wrong bait and they go to the same damn place in the ocean to fish every time. Sometimes they go to a few different places, but they don't do it with strategy. They just go because, you know what, let me just drop my line in here. Let me see if I catch anything. That's how most people go. And then sometimes you get lucky, you meet somebody, you get a deal done. But most of the time, you're just going to end up doing the status quo. When the best salespeople, figure out what kind of pole, right, they need, what kind of fishing pole they need, and then what kind of bait you need. And they figure out where the target demographic is where you're actually going to get the most fish. And you do all that with what we're talking about right now with social ads. I mean, that's like, if I had the ability to market myself through Facebook and Instagram in 2008, when I first got started, I would have saved like 5 years on my career. Like I shit you not. It really, really changes the game. Especially now, man, because now it's tough. Like I said, with masks and gloves and, be careful, stand 6 feet away from me, the whole thing. That's what I would do. I'd take side money that you make either from a second job or anything. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like you spend $2 a day $5 a day. Like, spend the amount of money you would on like, a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Spend that per day on ads. You will make money. You will sell more real estate, and develop a robust strategy. And that's why we developed a course that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Tell us a little bit more about your course, Sell It with Serhant.
Yeah, we have the Sell It Like Serhant course, which is our kind of our base education course that is literally everything that I know about how to sell real estate. It's how I've sold $4 billion in the last 10 years. And it's how to build a sales career from nothing. Like I whether you're in Texas, Arkansas, you're in Wisconsin, California, or New York, like I was a fish out of the water, right? I'm not from New York City. I didn't go to these schools. I'm not from these families. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I wasn't rich. I came here because I wanted to be an actor, honestly. And I totally ran out of money. I was dead broke in the summer of 2008. And my credit card, or my debit card actually, got declined because I didn't have enough money in it when I went to the grocery store to buy groceries. And like, I left the grocery store. I got on the train. I cried. I called my mom. I was like, I want to come home. This city sucks. I hate everybody. This business is terrible. And, they talked me out of it and just said, listen, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And I just kept at it and kept hustling. And how I did that and the blueprint that I figured out is what I put into the course. So it's everything from how to get started day one. It's how to structure your day. It's how to talk to a buyer on the phone. I think it's like 50 email templates for how to follow up with people, which I think people get confused with. It's how to negotiate. It's how to close, how to talk to sellers, how to budget, how to advertise. It's everything. And then the social ads course, which comes out tomorrow. And we have this whole Black Friday bundle that we're putting together, where it's a course plus our membership, which is a big deal for people, plus the social ads course from tomorrow through Friday only. And it's big. We're building I think probably one of the strongest, most well-trained real estate agent bases in the world. We're in 106 countries now.
Wow.
And the members are beautiful, man. And everyone refers deals to each other. It's nuts. Like it's this crazy ecosystem that we've invented that I love every day. I just think it's awesome. So if people want to check it out, you can just go to ryanserhant.com/course, and it's all right there.
Sweet.
Hey, Ryan, I'm out here in California. It's hot and sunny out here. I'm sorry. I live in Malibu. I was trying to get over to my house, but I have to go through a canyon. I couldn't make it back in time from a meeting. And so I had to sit back here on this side and find a good neighborhood. But but there's a lot of tech companies coming out with they're trying to circumvent the agent and get around that. How do you see that affecting your business and future real estate agents?
Listen, here's what I'll say. Until a house figures out how to sell itself to another house, there will always be the need for salespeople. And I say that, half in jest. The other half, like Bezos and Elon Musk, might actually fucking figure it out. So, we should be prepared for that. But until that happens, all the deals we do are, I'm convincing sellers to take deals they don't want to. I'm convincing buyers to make offers they think are too high, but it makes them nervous. There's a human interaction that comes along with making a decision. No computer can make a decision for you unless it's a numerical one, and that's called a calculator. Other than that, like, you can be suggested items. Your computer program can suggest that, hey, it's been 3 years since you've been in your home, you should start looking at other homes. And that's fine, but they can tell you the same thing with toothbrushes and diapers and shoes. So the same thing goes for homes. You can suggest it, but in order to have a healthy market, if humans are going to be the ones buying and selling real estate, humans need to be the conduit to that. And honestly, the more tech that gets invented and put out there, the stronger real estate agents get, because they learn how to use it to their advantage. You know how much my life would have sucked if I was a broker 20 years ago, like checking my messages on the message machine, running my ads in the newspaper. Like I'd only be able to do business that I could physically do in person and over the phone. Like it's awful. And so I think anybody that is scared of the future you're the same person in 1994 who was like, oh, this dial-up internet AOL thing, this is stupid, it's not going to be a thing. And where's that guy, right? That guy's dead.
That's right. That's right. You know, one of the things that you brought up a minute ago too, and I would like to know a little bit more about how you do it, is how do you maximize your day to get the most out of it? How do you schedule your day?
I break up my day by the 15-minute mark. I actually just, that's so funny you asked that. I just did the audio book for my second book, Big Money Energy, that comes out in the beginning of February. But I break my day down into 1,000 minutes, right? You have 1,440 minutes every single day. It's 24 hours divided times 60. About 440 of those minutes are sleeping, eating, kissing your wife, you know, stuff like that. And then you got 1,000 minutes every day to make the most of. I break those 1,000 minutes into 15-minute blocks, and I make sure that I'm as productive as I possibly can be every 15 minutes. Now, for example, this is a half-hour Zoom call, right, that we're doing live. This is 2 of those blocks, which is fine. But I break that down. And then I make sure I structure within my calendar every day time to basically be what I call finder, keeper, doer, something we talk about in the course. But you want to make sure that every day, if you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a salesperson, developer, investor, that you're not just waking up and just doing the work you think you're supposed to do. Because if you do that, 10 years are going to go by and you're going to be in the same exact spot. You want to wake up every day and make sure that you're moving forward. So I kind of came up with a system 10 years ago that I call my finder, keeper, doer, FKD, where a chunk of the day is devoted to finder time only. Okay, that means that you are finding business for yourself. You're the CEO of your own business. You're out there finding, thinking about your business as a whole movement, kind of having that CEO hat on. A chunk of your day is keeper time. Keeper time is like the CFO. You're managing your money, your budgets, taxes, expenses. You know, you're kind of taking those things that you put into action during your finder time, and you're figuring out how you're going to do them. You're planning, right? You're lining people up. You're hiring people, all that stuff. The rest of your day is your doer time, right? The rest of those 15-minute blocks, that's the COO, that's operations, that's actually doing the work. That's actually painting the house. That's actually putting the stamps on the letters for the mailers that you said you were going to send out. It's doing all that work. You break your day down that way and you follow your goals and you adjust, pivot. Like you will get to where you want to get to. Success is down the road for you. You just have to make sure you're moving forward every day.
That's absolutely right, man. You know, as the old saying goes, you live and die by the calendar, man. And that's one of the things that my mentors actually taught me, you know, document it all, you know, like if you're going to take a shit, put that on the calendar, you know what I mean? But one of the, you know, I won't hold you up too long, because I know that you're about to have to jet here, but how important is the follow-up game with real estate? You know, I feel like that's one of the things that a lot of real estate agents really kind of lack on, is the follow-up. You know, they call somebody, they get a lead and they say, well, I'm not ready. So they just give up, you know, and they don't ever contact them again. Right. Tell us a little bit about the follow-up.
I met a client. It was a woman who reached out to me with her husband in March of 2012. Okay. 8 years ago. And they were interested in finding a condo for themselves. They lived in New Jersey. They wanted to find a condo. Their budget was like $1 to $2 million, which in New York City is not that much money. Maybe gets you like a studio apartment, right? Maybe a 1-bedroom. And so I looked with them and I spent like 6 months with them trying to find them something. You know, we were on the Upper East Side, then they changed their mind. They wanted the Upper West Side, and then they changed their mind. They wanted downtown, and then they disappeared. But I knew that they could afford it, and I knew they were good buyers. And unless they bought somewhere else, or unless they told me, hey, I bought somewhere else, don't email me again, or unless they died, I followed up with them every other week, over and over and over. Fast forward 6 years, okay, to 2018. He, the husband, finally responds to one of my emails, okay, 6 years later with no response, and says to me, Ryan, thanks so much for following up. Sorry, I've been a little bit busy. And I was like, no shit. Oh, wow. Okay. It's like, hey, can we talk real quick? I said, sure. Jumped on the phone right away. Right. I was like, so excited. And he's not the only guy. He's not the only guy that I do this with. I do this with hundreds of people. I follow up until you die. And I got on the phone with him. He's like, hey, so yeah, it's been a while. How you been? Everything good? Yeah, no. Anyway, oh yeah, we got divorced. So he got divorced from his wife. He's like, I want to find a place in Soho. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. When? He's like, I don't know, maybe, next week. I want to find a place quickly. Thought maybe he wanted a rental. And I said, okay, well, what's your budget? He's like, I don't know, 10, 20 million. Like, oh, okay. So you're doing well for yourself, huh? Like, yeah. We went out the next week, found him a place for $17 million. We negotiated to $16 million. He closed 2 weeks later.
Wow.
That was 2018. Last summer, April, he calls me again. After I had followed up with him again for another year, and he never wrote me back. Follow up with him again. Comes back to me. He's like, hey, I think I want to get a place in the Hamptons. I'm like, okay. What, how much you want to spend this time? I don't know, 15, 20. Okay, awesome. Let's go do it. I go out to the Hamptons. Now he's too busy. So I fly out there by myself and I FaceTime him different houses. And I showed him one house that was on the market for $50 million just for fucking fun. And he bought it for $40 million last June, right?
Wow.
Fast forward to a month ago. He reaches back out to me after I followed up with him this whole year and he doesn't respond to me. Comes back to me, Ryan, this COVID thing's bananas. I think I need to get a place in Miami. Sounds good. What are you looking for? It's like, I don't know. Either Miami or let's go to the Bahamas. Let's buy an island. But I want to make sure that I have my own airstrip. So last Wednesday, we flew down. We skipped the islands because of security concerns. But this morning, we signed a contract for an apartment on the ocean for $40 million. So that was a guy that came to me 8 years ago with a $1 to $2 million budget that any other broker would have given up on because he didn't respond. Had he written to me at any time and said, Ryan, I bought something else. Sorry, dude. Or, hey, stop emailing me, you psycho. Right. And I followed up with him I didn't follow up with him as an annoying person. I followed up with him every other week, almost like clockwork, with value. Like, hey, this thing came on the market. Let me know if you want to see it. That's it. Hey, I don't know if you saw the market reports. The market's on fire. That's it. Hey, weather's really, really, really crazy. Outdoor space is really great. I think you can make a lot of money if you bought in Midtown. That's it. Always a value. No one owes you shit. So your follow-up always has to be about them. How can you help them? No one's ever going to respond to you if you ever make any of your follow-up, any of your outreach about you, because no one gives a shit. Because there are 7 billion people on the planet. No one cares. And so he stuck with me because of my persistence. That's what he told me when he bought that first place in Soho. He's like, listen, I know a lot of people, but I appreciate the hustle. And you followed up with me. No one else would do that. So I'll leave it with this. I've got my 3 Fs. The 3 Fs to follow up, follow through, follow back. That's my secret sauce to how I sell. It is everything. You follow up with everyone until they buy or die. You follow through with what you say you're going to do. If you say to somebody, hey, I'm going to send you those listings by 5 o'clock, you do it, right? You don't say 6, you don't do this, you don't then send it tomorrow. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had to go watch TV or I fell asleep. Be an adult, grow up, and do things when you say you're going to do them. Be a man or woman of your word. And then follow back is the 3rd F with everybody. You follow back with everyone you've ever met. If you have a slow day, go back to all those open house sign-up sheets. Go back to your first grade yearbook. Go on Facebook. People you don't know, you're like, I don't even know how I know this person. DM them, touch base. Hey man, what's up? How do I know you? I'm a real estate agent. What do you do? There are always people out there in this business. You can always be working. And last but not least, if all else fails, the 4th F, fuck it.
Man, I love that, man. And it's so true that the FU money is in the follow-up. Ryan, I'd sure like to say thanks once again for coming on today, man. I know you're a busy man. We sure appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan. You're the king, brother. You're the king of real estate.
Is there anything you'd like to leave with our audience? Where can they go and find out more about your programs?
Dude, you can go to just Ryan Serhant anywhere. But listen, I think for the point for you guys, for you followers, like my mission in life, like my legacy, that what I want to leave is I want to change the face of sales forever. I want salespeople to be the first career that people choose, because it is amazing to work for yourself and realize that there are no limits. There is no ceiling. You flip houses forever. No one's ever going to say, hey, I think you flipped too many houses this year. If you can do it, if you can make money from it, then do it. No one's ever going to come to me and say, Ryan, I think you sold too much this year. We're going to pay you a little bit less. Like, if you can do it, do it. Like we, especially for those of us listening who are in the United States, we have that benefit. You don't have that in every country. Like we take that shit for granted. We take that freedom for granted. And so use it. So listen, go to ryanserhant.com, check out the course. Go to the course, look at the social ads course tomorrow. I think it will really change a lot of people's business. And I'm not in it to make money. I make enough money selling real estate. I'm doing it really so I can help and build a referral base so that all of us realtors in the world can refer deals back and forth to one another. So that's it. That's all I ask.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you very much, man. Take care, and we'll talk later.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Ryan. We appreciate it,
Yeah.
brother. Bye.